In my time coming up as a trader, I've seen countless people have all the motivation in the world, super fired up to learn how to trade. And all of those hopes and dreams, all that desire dies the moment they see a chart. Don't worry, if that's you, that happened to me too. These are the first words that came to my mind the moment I saw the charts. It was, I don't like math. I don't like graphs. Please get this thing out of my face. It's like I was ready to just give up on everything that I was putting my mind to, just because it looked scary, just because it looked like I just couldn't do it. So the point of this video is I want to help you. If you feel as though you just cannot understand what it is you're looking at, you came to the right video. So before we move on, please like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notifications to my videos so you don't miss out on the series that I have prepared for you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transform you from this brand new, wannabe trader into this magnificent professional. And I'm gonna show you how to miss all of the obstacles that I had to grow through to get to where I am today. Well, guess what? You're gonna be fast-tracked and you're gonna be able to get faster success. Who wouldn't want that? Right? So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So today what I want to do is I want to go over candles, right? So the moment you look at a chart, the reason it's confusing, the reason you have no idea what's going on, you just don't know what it is that you're looking at. If you have not already watched my video on how to navigate TradingView, how to use TradingView, you might want to go watch that video, because in this video, I'm not going to explain the simple basics on TradingView. I'm here to explain how to read and understand the charts. Right, so first and foremost, what you have to do is you have to understand what it is you're looking at. And my goal for this video is I'm gonna make it very simple so you don't even have to think too hard. So the first thing you have to notice is, what time frame are you even looking at? Like, what are we looking at right now? Where are we? What is our orientation? Because how can you find where it is you're trying to go if you don't know where you currently are? So first, I'm gonna show you your orientation on this map. Right? And I call the charts a map because that's pretty much what it is. Think of Google Maps, right? And you're gonna understand that reference later on in this video. These little bars that's on the screen, they represent time. They don't just represent time, they represent the fluctuation of price over time. So the first thing we gotta notice is, what time frame are we on and what asset are we looking at? So in this case, I'm looking at the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, and I'm currently on the 1-day time frame. Well, what does that mean? That means that each one of these little candles, each one of these boxes, they represent the fluctuation of price over 1 day. So if you look at this blue box right here, this represents how much the price of USD/JPY fluctuated over 1 day. So the way that you're gonna read this, if you look down at the bottom of the screen here, you see different dates. As you see, Friday 13th December 2024, Monday the 16th December 2024, so on and so forth. So what that tells you is that this bottom section, as the chart goes from left to right, the date goes higher and higher, the time goes higher and higher. So that tells me that this chart goes from left to right, right? Just like how we read a book, we read a chart from left to right. Now, in the opposite end, what this tells me here is different prices. So as you see, these different prices like 149.652, and as you go higher and higher, you got 151.213, so these are the prices that's going higher and higher, or it could be going lower. So what that tells me is that we have the fluctuation of price over time. If that doesn't sound too confusing, let's continue moving forward. You might want to go take out a pen and paper and take some notes on this, right? So you don't forget these little concepts, because these are the basics. These are the very basics of understanding a chart. Now, I'm going to tell you that these concepts don't only apply to Forex pairs, they also apply to anything that you are trading. Like, it could be any asset like stocks, it could be bonds, it could be real estate, it could be ETFs, it could be indices. These concepts apply to any asset that you're analyzing. We're going to start with these boxes, right? So these boxes are called candles. You probably noticed that each of these candles are different colors. Some are the same color and others aren't, right? So we have blue and then we have gray. Each of these candles represent a direction in the market. So I don't want you to fall in love with colors, because colors don't matter. You can change the colors as much as you want, as you probably noticed in my TradingView video. So the colors don't matter, but what I am going to tell you is, based on the colors that I have on my chart, is blue represents the market is going up and gray represents the market is going down. So with that understanding, that tells us that this blue candle shows over the previous day, this market went up in value. I know you noticed these little sticks that's coming out of the candle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down how to even understand the story that the candle is even telling you. I'm gonna represent these candles in a different way. What I have right here is a blue candle with a wick, and we have a gray candle with the wick. Every time you see a candle that goes up in price, that's a bullish candle. Bullish meaning the market is going up. In my chart, whenever you see a gray candle, that means it's a candle that goes down. In other words, it's a bearish candle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly where these candles open and close and how to read what story it is that it's telling you. So when you're looking at a bullish candle, at the bottom of the body, that is the open of the candle. At the top of the body, that is the close of the candle. Now, when you look at the top of the wick of that bullish candle, that is the highest point that that candle has reached within that time frame. Now, when you look at the bottom of the wick, that is the lowest point that that candle has reached within that time frame. Now, when you look at a bearish candle, it's somewhat similar, but in a way, it's different. So bearish candles, they open at the top of the body. Bearish candles close at the bottom of the body. The same way that the wicks apply on bullish candles are the same way that wicks apply on bearish candles. The highest wick represents how high the market gone within that period of time, and the lowest wick represents how low the market went at that period of time. So in this case, let's say you're looking at a bearish candle. The market opens here at the top of the body. It could have gone up for a period of time, which would be the highest of the wick, and then goes down and then makes the lowest point, which is the bottom of the wick, and then closes at the bottom of the body, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much how you read candles itself and what is actually happening over the course of time. Now let's go back to that candle that I highlighted. Maybe you'll start to look at these candles somewhat differently because you know exactly what they're doing. So when you look at this highlighted candle, you now know that this is a bullish candle. When you look at the other gray candles here, let's say the one that I'm circling, you know that's a bearish candle. So you can see how the market opens and closes at different points. So as you see here, this is a bullish candle. It opens at the bottom of the body. It makes a low, its lowest point, which is the low wick. Then it goes to its highest point, which is the high wick. Then it ends up closing at the top of the body. Now the next candle after that is a gray candle. So we know that bearish candles open at the top and close at the bottom of the body. So in this case, it opened exactly where the previous candle closed, which makes sense, right? And it makes its highest point, which is the wick up here. And then it ends up coming down to its lowest point, which is the wick right here. And then it ends up closing at the bottom of the body. Every time you see a candle, no matter how big or how small, it represents 1 day of movement of the market for USD JPY. The reason I called the chart a map, kind of like Google Maps, is because on Google Maps, you can zoom in and out of the space that you're looking at. You know that if you're looking at, let's say, for example, the United States as a whole, and you start to zoom into your location, it looks like the map gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it shows more details. Well, that's exactly how it is when you go up and down on time frames. So right now, we're currently looking at a 1-day time frame. You can change the time frames that you're looking at. So when you go up here to the top that shows different time frames, these are all the options that you have. You have 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, so on and so forth. You have minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then you have an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, a day, 3 days, a week, a month, so on and so forth. What I want you guys to understand is, if you're thinking of the charts like Google Maps, as you go lower in time frame, the more detail you get of that specific time period. So the reason I highlighted the candle is so you see that as you go lower in time frames, it's going to be more explained of what's actually happening over that whole day's period of time. Now notice how when we get to the 4-hour time frame, you see that it's no longer just one candle. You now have a lot more than that. You now have multiple candles within that same time frame. Well, that's because each of these candles are now worth only 4 hours. Since they're worth only 4 hours now, there's going to be more candles in that box, in that highlighted box that represents what happened over that day. Now, as I go in lower time frames, you're going to start to see there's a lot more candles. So as you see here, when we get to the 1 hour, there's even more candles within that same box. Each of these candles are worth 1 hour. Now, as we go down to 15 or 5, so on and so forth, you're going to see it's just going to be more and more and more candles telling you the story of what's happening within that time frame. Now, in a later video throughout the series, I'm going to tell you exactly how to read and analyze what's actually happening so you can have a better picture. But for right now, what you need to do is understand that as you go lower in time frame, it's kind of like you're zooming in to your location on Google Maps, and as you go higher in time frame is as if you're zooming out of your location on Google Maps, because what it's doing is the more you zoom out, the less information you actually can see. The more you zoom in, the more detailed the information is. So with that, I'm gonna go back to the 1 day and go back to the location where we were. So as you look at this position where we highlighted the same candle, nothing has changed. But since we went down in time frame, let's now move up. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to 1 week. As you see, once we go to the week time frame, you no longer see that box that we highlighted. Well, why is that? Because there's 7 days within 1 week. Therefore, you won't see that one specific day that we highlighted. In order to see the position that we were in, we're gonna have to highlight more candles on the 1 day chart. So if I were to highlight a specific area, as you see, there's just nothing but consolidation. We'll learn exactly what consolidation is in a later video. But for right now, I'm gonna highlight this area, then move back to the 1 week. So as you see here, when you get to the 1 week chart, now that we highlighted multiple candles on the 1 day chart, we see a position. We see where we were looking at. So now we know exactly where it was. The higher you go in time frame, the more it zooms out. I hope that makes sense for you guys. If you feel as though you have a better understanding of candles and how to read them, please drop in the comment section any questions you may have or what I've cleared up for you in general. Now, I hope I've started to lay out a foundation of your understanding of candles and just knowing what you're looking at, how to navigate from one time frame to another, actually knowing what's happening as you change time frames. Because understand that it's just like Google Maps. It's like you're zooming in and out of a map. I want you to remember this. The lower you go in time frame, the more details you're looking at over a specific amount of time. Now, the higher you go in time frame, the less detail, but you get more of the overall picture. Now, I hope I answered a lot of you guys' questions. I hope I've cleared up a lot of confusion that some people might have had the moment they looked at a chart. Now, the reason you want to like, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications is because what I'm doing is I'm creating a series for you guys. I'm taking you from step A to step Z on how to understand the charts so you can get into trading and really make the money count. Right? Because I know a lot of people out there, they drop videos, they drop millions of videos, but you don't know where to start. You don't know which video is A, you don't know which video is B, you don't know which video is Z. So what you end up doing is you're jumping video to video, not truly having understanding. What I'm doing right now for you guys is I'm giving you that breakdown. I'm giving you that understanding step by step, and always feel free to drop in the comments if you have any questions that you need cleared up for you. We're gonna go step by step here, guys. I'll see you on that next video. Make sure you've already liked, shared, and subscribed, and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out.